and welcome back to the Vue.js Todo App tutorial on Knowledge Lab. In today's video, we are going to learn about splitting a Vue component into child components. So this is an important concept when working with large application because it helps you organize your code and make it more reusable and maintainable. So why we split components? Because when building applications, will often that find that a single component grows too large and becomes hard to manage. To fix this, we can break it into a smaller focused child component. Each child component handles its own functionality and communicate with the parent through props or custom event. So as course progress, we'll know about props and what is custom events. So today we'll be refactoring our to-do app and separating it into child. Or one more thing, so in this app I already added a style. If you also added a style, then comment that style. I will also put this thing in comment so you can copy paste this one. Okay, so currently app is like this one. Now we'll start splitting component. So what we will do first, we'll planning for like how we'll separate this component. So first component will be this, for this one, input and add button. For adding to do, we'll separate this part as a separate component. Again, for each list we are showing one text value and one edit and delete button. So that one will make one component, and another third component will be that will using for loop that will call this component having list component, and another will be app view, there will call all the methods, means this will be parent component, inside this will call all the child component. So let's start. So what we will do, so first in component section here, this is no use, so I am deleting this one. Okay, so in component we'll create one file. So this component name will be AddTodo. This is single file component, so you have to add .vue extension. Okay, inside this template will be there. So inside template I will copy from here. These two thing will be inside that add to do. So I will wrap this thing inside div, so later we can add a style to it. Okay, so basically we are splitting this component. So now here we have to write a script for this, like logic for this component. So earlier we are doing everything in same component, so directly we are calling method, but here what we will do, we'll see that. So first we have to write that syntax for, or here one more option is there, name. So if you add some name to component, then in Vue dev tool, by searching this name you can easily find that component. So data will be there, you know the how to write the data syntax, data you have to return. Or here one variable is there, new to do, initially it will be blank string, or another variable is method. So in method section we have to define that method. Inside method option we'll write AddTodo, and what will be the logic. So basically here what we are doing, like when on click event, when AddTodo is called, in that case we are directly pushing that AddTodo new to do value into that array. But now array will be part of different component, not this component. So here what we'll do, we'll emit that value to the child, to the parent component. We'll name this as add to do, and here we'll send that model value new to do. So basically this emit is basically custom event. So here we are defining one custom event. So Vue will recognize this as an event from child. So in parent component, if you write at the rate or beyond add to do, in that scenario you will get that event in parent. Okay, we'll add in parent, then you will easily understand that what I'm saying. So now we are capturing this, we are, after putting new to do value in input box, when user clicking add to do, in that case we are emitting value from here. So I have to also put a check here, because there we are putting one check, like if this dot new to do dot trim not equal to 0, not equal to blank string, in that case only we will limit. Okay, this is fine. So now here what we'll do, here instead of this we can use that add to do view. So for using some component, first you have to import that component. So my component name is add to do. Okay, from where we have to give that path. So we have to define that component path. So component is like, component is inside component directory. So what we'll do, we have to go component, no, writing correct, no, components dot, sorry, slash add to do view. So we'll check it's accepting that component or not. So now you have to define components option. I think that is already there, no? Component is not there. So components option, you have to define components. Here you have to write that add to do. Now like HTML tag, we can use that component add. Either you can use in this way, or you can use add to do like this way also. Both ways fine. So now I'll check in browser how it's coming. So currently it's giving error. I think path is not correct import. Okay, we'll check that one. We'll check why this is not working. So basically here, okay, sorry. No, I think so now we'll see in browser it's coming. Here it's coming. So now what we are doing, from AddTodo component we are emitting this event. So in parent component we have to write that event listener for that component. So if we add that event listener and call that AddTodo method, so here we'll get that value. So if you want to print that value, you'll get that value. So now new to do is not part of it. So here instead of this new to do, we have to put check for value. Okay, so using command D we can select all this and replace with value. So now in from child component, if someone writes something, okay, hit add, what happening? Console, nothing coming, all levels. We check code again. So here AddTodo name is same now. AddTodo event. Yes. Here we'll put one console log for checking it's working or not. Console.log. It will give some log message like emitting AddTodo value, sorry, new to do value, same. Okay, fine. Now we'll see why this import console from inspector. How this can, sorry. Okay, now we'll add some data. Oh, sorry, this should be methods. No, if you add, it's adding that data here. Or if you want to see how it's working, so here we can put debug. So this is a parent component. If you add here, click add, in that case what's happening, that value from child component, it's emitting that value. So using that custom event we are able to access that value, and now we are pushing that value into to do 0. Okay, that's fine. Or now we are able to add same element, so same logic we have to write here also. Like earlier what we are doing, after Hey, after adding, we we are making new to do value to blank. So similar, after emitting that value, we'll make this dot new to do as blank string. Fine. So one component is created. Now we'll add a style for this one. Style you can add here. Okay, so later we'll add a style. So now only we can do here. From here we can copy. So okay, later we'll add that one. So one component is created, another will be for each list item. Like for each list item we'll create one component, and we'll name that component as TodoList.view. TodoList.view. Okay, similar here we'll write a template, we'll bind in div, so later we can add style. So what will be inside this component? So this component is similar to that list. Like here inside UL tag we are using a list. So for one list, this will be one component. So inside one list, what we are showing? We are showing these things. Okay, so we'll copy those things to here. Great. So now what we'll do, for each functionality we have to write logic in a script section. So here we'll put first name of that component, name is to do list. Okay, so now I'm okay. Now again we have to define data is required or not. Data, okay, we'll see. So here what will be the data? So basically this component is for each list item, so we'll call this component from another parent component. So here no need to define data. Here we'll get data by props. So props is another option in Vue. Using this one we can send data from parent to child, like similar to event what we are doing, emitting value from child to parent. Like AddTodo is child of app.view, so from here we are sending data to here. Now what we will do, if we have to send data from parent to child, in that case one option is there, props. Using props we can send data from parent to child. So here props will be to do, like to do will be one props. So props we can define like this. Default, what will be the default value? Default value will be blank object. Okay, or that's it. So to do anything else we required, or I also we are using here now. So I is also variable, so another will be I. default will be 0. I means index. Okay, true thing. And we have to define all the method here. Props ending here. So in methods section we'll write all the logic. So first we have to write logic for mark as complete. Okay, second will be save to do. Third will be edit to do. Fourth method is delete to do. So basically this component will call inside another component. So here we don't write, we will not write any logic. We'll only meet that value from here. So in parent component we'll get that information, and in that component we'll write all the logic. So in all the method we'll emit for mark as complete what we required. We can write here mark complete. Okay, so for mark complete we required both information, this dot I comma this dot to do. For mark complete we'll send both the props value. For save to do what we need, this dot dollar emit. So for saving value what we required, that will send to parent component using emit. So for saving we required both thing, this dot I comma this dot to do. For edit to do also we have to write the same logic, like this dot dollar emit edit to do comma this dot I comma this dot to do. Fine. For delete only index is required. For edit also only index I think required. Okay, we'll see later. This dot dollar emit delete to do. So here for deleting, so I'm comparing from here. So here in case of add we required, okay, add is already in place. So in case of delete only index is needed. Edit also index is only needed. Save index and to do, or mark as complete index and to do. So that only will send that thing which we required for saving or delete. Okay, so this is our to-do list component. So now we'll create one more component. There will loop over this to-do list component. Basically to-do list, now to-do list component is this one. Okay, so we have to loop this component inside some another component. So we'll create one separate component for that one. Okay, so we'll name this as okay, this component should name to-do list, because here we'll show all the list data now. That should be to-do item. So this one I will rename as to do item. Okay, this one will rename as to do list. So here also we'll change name. So basically why we write name, I'm showing you that if you write name now and go to view dev tool, so here that using that name you can search that component. Currently that list to do item component is not used anywhere in that application, that's why that name is not reflecting, correct? So now our to do item is component is ready. Now we'll create to do list. Inside to do list, what we'll do, we'll loop over that to do's and use that to do item instead of list. So what we'll do, here we'll take ul as earlier, and instead of list will loop over to do item. Okay, so for that we have to first import that component add to do from where, so both inside component only, so using dot slash only we can access that component. That component name is to do item, sorry, here name should be to do item, to do item. Here script, oh sorry, this should be inside script. No, here we'll put name for that component, that is to do list. Here we are using one component, so components option we have to define, so we will understand we will using that component inside that component. To do item is registered. Okay, if you don't write there then we will give you unregistered component like that. We will check that one. If you currently I'm not using that component, we'll see later. Currently we are not using a to do list in somewhere like app.vue, that's why. So component to do item is coming, so in to do item we'll loop over there. So using before directive we can loop. So in to do's is also not the data property of this will get from app.vue. So using props to do's will be props of this component, will send data from app.vue to to-do list. So to do's is type, we can define type should be array and default value will be blank array. Okay, here comma is missing. Before here we'll get to do, here we'll get index, and for each item we have to give key. So we can use this as simple, like there we earlier we are using list as component, now our custom component we can use it anywhere if required in our application. Okay, so here to do is coming, will loop over there. In to do item we are emitting several things. So in to do list we have to add event listener for every emit. So at the rate, what was edit to do was there. Similarly, delete to do was there. So basically we'll split, then it will be easy for us now. So from TodoItem we were emitting edit to do, delete to do, mark complete. So all the emit we have to write some event for that event listener. So currently I'm only defining, later I will write at the rate edit, delete, mark complete and save to do. So here what we'll do, here again from each component will emit. So to-do list also we are not using, not writing logic, because we'll write every logic in app.vue. So here edit to do, will write edit to do method, or delete to do will delete to do method, or mark as complete, you can like mark as complete, or save to do, let save to do. Okay, in method section what will that, same like to do item, will emit this thing from here, but here some change will be there. Like here we are getting data from this one, so we have to emit that value. Okay, so again I am splitting this. So here in case of mark as complete we are emitting index and to do. So here we'll get index in first and then we'll get to do. So here in case of index, instead of this one we'll write index and to do, because we are getting this value from this component. In case of save to do also we are getting index and to do. So again we will emit from here index and to do. Here we are only emitting index because that thing only required. So here we'll emit that index value. Here also only index value is required and we are getting this from child component. So this is fine. Now this component is also completed. Now we are able to split this component. Now will we use this component inside app.vue for showing instead of this UL. So instead of this UL, first we have to import that component here. So we'll write import TodoList, TodoList from dot slash components slash to do list dot view. Now we have to register this component here. Inside component we have to write, otherwise we will not understand this component. Here we'll write that component. Okay. Now in app.vue we'll import the child components and use them together to complete our functionality. So here we are defining the to-do list. You can write component like this way also, or you can write like simple like this one also. Both are fine. So to-do list. Now from to-do list we are emitting several things and one props is there. So in props how we'll send data? Here to do is variable, so using bbind you can send data. So in case of props we are using this column, we can send data to child. So props is basically way to send data from parent to child. So this props, now if some changes will happen here, then it will automatically send that updated value to to-do list. So Vue handle those things. Here we have to write all these methods, so that we'll copy from to-do list only. So in to-do list also we are sending all these things. So here we'll add all the method. Now we have to change logic everywhere. So I think we have to not change the logic, because in mark as complete, if you go there, mark as complete, we are sending index to do, we are getting index to do, correct? In case of save to do, index to do, okay, edit to do only index, delete. So logic is fine. And also for to do item we define two props, to do and I, but from to do list item we have to send that both props data here. So currently we missed that one. So in to do we'll send that to do a for loop. Similarly for index we'll send that I value. Okay, we'll change this name, otherwise it will, okay, I is fine. So now our code is completed. Now we'll check functionality, it's working or not. We'll go to browser. Here unexpected notation of to do prop, to do item. Where is to do item? We'll, here we can define type also, type object. Here type will be number. Now we are getting error, so we'll fix that one. So giving type of add to do view, to do item first fix unexpected. So basically we can't mutate props value. So where we are mutating, I don't know, not mutating in here. Okay, here, oh, we're mutating here, so we have to. So now what we'll do, currently we are mutating props value, so that is not correct in Vue. We can't mutate props value. So for this, for solving this, we have to create local copies of all this data which we are mutating here, like todo dot text todo dot is complete. So in data section we'll create local copies of each data. So data will be function, here will return so here for text we'll create one text local variable in which we'll store initially todo dot text. Okay, for each complete we'll create one local copy of each complete, and here we'll store that props value to this value. Similarly for edit we'll create one local copy and we'll store that value into each edit. Okay, now instead of mutating this one, we'll delete to do from here. We'll mutate that local variable every place. And okay, here for showing it's fine, only text will show. Instead of sending this to do data, we'll send text comma is complete. Here we'll send for saving text comma is complete comma is edit. Send all this data. Here we are sending index we are not mutating anywhere, so it's fine. Now we'll check. So much console 19 mixed tab problem is coming. So now what we'll do, we're getting some error. Okay, so I'm got it. So here this is a local variable. No, so using this keyword we have to pass this as this dot. So we are sending object, so here text will be this dot text and each complete will be this dot complete. Similarly here also text will be this dot text, each complete will be this dot each complete. Similarly edit will be this, because this is local variable, so local variable, to access local variable we have to use reference of this component. Okay, so now any error coming? No, two problem is to do prop must be a function. Okay, So default value will be function. So how we write arrow function? To do prop must be a function. So type is object, so we'll return object, or in case of to do list type is array, so using arrow function. So some different way also we can define props. So here this is best way, I think. That's why I'm defining in this way. Now our component is ready. So now we'll test functionality that it is working or not. So first we'll add some more. This is for testing purpose. So first we'll test that add functionality, it's working. Now we'll edit this one I'm adding and saving. So when it's coming, deleting this one, it's deleting. So or here you can see that name we write now, that name component it's coming. Here you will see each component separately, like what inside to do list, what inside AddTodo, everything you can see here, data event listener, everything. Here edit, okay, फिर mark as complete, it's also working. Okay, so currently 1 2 3 4 data is there. So refreshing this one, so I think that this is not working. Mark as complete, no, 3 should be mark as completed, but we are so mark as complete, we have to check why it's not working. So in case of mark as complete, we are sending index and this dot text and this dot is complete from here. So okay, here key is not correct, that's why. Now we'll check again. Now we mark this one. Now it's working. Now we deselect this one. This is working. So now we'll recap once. Today video become very large. So today what we did, so in today lecture we splitted our earlier component into 3 separate component. Like for earlier we are using list, so instead of list we are created our own list, that to do list. So here we are getting data from app.vue. So to do list we are using props, we are sending data from app.vue to do list. So here we are getting to dos, and here using for loop we are accessing to do item instead of li. So to do item is our component in which we are defining one input box for no, sorry, in case of edit, input box will be there based on this condition, otherwise it will show in some span, and all functionality is there. From here we are not writing logic, we are just emitting value from here to the parent. So parent can access data using adding this event listener to that parent component. So we are basically sending data from here to here, then from there we are sending data to here. So how in today lecture we'll able to learn how components communicate in Vue. So if you want to send data from parent to child using props, option, we can send that data. If you want sending some data or something from child to parent, in that case using emit we can send data to parent. So that's it. In today's lecture we learn to split components. So basically this is simple app. So if application will be larger, in that case code number of lines of code will be much larger. So it's it is good way to split bigger component into a smaller component then use. Okay, fine. Thank you for watching this video, and in next lecture we'll learn some more concept of Vue.js. Or one homework is there, you can add a style to each component. Okay, that's from today lecture. Thank you for watching.